Hello SBF family, here we're going to have the intro to the next Monster High project, which this is going to be a mess to explain. I was hoping to do the Scarrier Reef and the Shriek Wrecked together, but I don't know if that's going to work out, so let me just jump in and tell you where I'm at. So maybe this is what has stalled me too from working on this, because until I got working on it, I just can't quite figure it out. So when I did the tour, the updated tour, and I did a 360, we had this big old door, and it bugged me. And I also said that I would use every inch of space I have, so I am going to cover that door with something to work on. Now I have this boat, which is a Chris Craft Mattel thing from the 70s. I got for like 20 bucks, which is pretty cool. In the top portion, I do have the so desired light and the wheel. Some of the pieces are missing for the things that go here to make it look like it's got a deck side. And I've just been going back and forth with this. Technically speaking, and I've already cleared out, oh boy, whoops. That's what I'm worried about. I've already cleared out the dolls. So the beach itself is much more, it's not as jammed up, which is what I really wanted to do. I can technically leave this here and work on that from here. That is an option, and I'm going to give these options because this one is going to be kind of short, and I'm going to leave it open to ideas before I exactly figure it out. So that can technically go there. I'm not particularly fond of how it blocks, but then this kind of blocks over here, so maybe it's okay. Gracie doesn't play in here anymore, so that's has opened some options for how it can be since it's more adult. That's what I got there. And I got my door. My door. So here's what I was looking at. Oh, I always get chilly in here. If you can hear the air conditioner, it gets so cold in here. And I got it blocked. Imagine that. Okay. So, like I said, this is a video journal, so I'm just going to show you what I got going on. So I was looking at some ideas for the door, and I was going to do a carnival. I like that idea. I've just wanted a Ferris wheel so bad, but that doesn't really hold a lot of dolls, and it is kind of imperative to get quite a few dolls. We got all those. This changed too because I only intended on getting a few, and now I have more. I have all of them now. So that got confusing. So then I was thinking, well, what I would love to do is make this mural come together with this mural, and then that leaves me limited space. Because when I open the door, I got to be conscious of what hits over here so I don't slam into the cabin or this, because remember we have a stopper here, so that that at least won't fly into it. But I can't make something here and make it fly into it. So I just, a Ferris wheel and another amusement park, it just didn't seem like I can get enough dolls in it to be worth it. So when I was doing this idea of bringing the two murals together, I thought maybe I can do it underwater in the mountain. That just doesn't seem to work either. So this is what I came up with for a panel anyway, which is important. So let me show that to you as it is. This is the back. At the end, I will put in how I did the panel. I need it to be secure. It's a piece of cardboard that you would have seen on the back of when I was doing this to guard my curtains. Let me put that up and show you how that's going to work. So that is really, really thick cardboard, which we got from this panel set to put on the side of our stainless steel fridge. Oh, let me slip it up around that light. I got it all measured out, which you'll see again in the end, and it's at least giving me something to look at, and therefore trying to figure out my ideas. I've got little marks on the corners, so we can put that up with some screws and plugs later, and only have 4 holes on each corner. Those panels you've seen on the back, that will keep it strong, and hopefully with paper mache it doesn't warp. So now if I can do this, let me hold this way. Here's my dilemma with the door. So when the door opens, I have to be very careful. This is an odd one, huh? Have to be very careful of where it might hit. So let me go over there. So I have it all marked to make sure, that's what the red maroon lines are, to make sure I don't hit on those areas. I got that figured out. And that's about as much as I have totally set. And now here's where I'm open. Now let me go sit. What I was going to do is, if you notice in the pencil lines, there's the shape of the top of the ship, and here's the shape of the bottom of the ship. And I was going to hack up this ship and put it on there. And now I'm just, as I look at it, I'm not sure that's going to work out. And then the challenge is, when we got the top deck on, how do we make the dolls stay on there on a movable door without flying off? Now the mermaids I can figure out. Speaking of which, I have some fishing line and lots of stuff. So I can get the mermaids on, but I'm not so sure about that thing. So I'm going to leave that open to hear your ideas. I'm getting a feeling this can only be more like an aquarium and have all the mermaids. That's where I'm feeling like I'm at. Now, I've only done this today because I really wanted to get something up for you guys, because I've been promising this far too long. And I'm just, maybe I can sit on it for a night, and that usually helps me a lot. Sit on it for a night and see how I feel about it and if any ideas come better. In the meantime, I've already bought lots of blues, stuff for the cave, aquarium type stuff. So I got lots of things, and I can play with other things. My Froggy Stuff did an underwater cereal box thing, and Sprinkle Bunny did a beautiful Michelle Mermaid underwater scene bed. So some of those same concepts I'm going to use, but in a bigger form. What I do know is, with making that work, I'd like to paper mache a cave looking thing with the kraken in there, with some texture, and that'll be calamaris. And then I'd like to sway into another kind of cove looking thing that will have the serpentine and be filled with treasures and stuff like they like jewelry. And then now I have to stop here as to what I'm gonna do. So am I gonna have it like a whole aquarium, or am I gonna put a beach top up there? That's where I need to stop for a night and think about it. I might even, with the end of this, I'll probably end this journal, and between your ideas and me sorting it out, I can go from there. Alrighty, everybody, hope you enjoyed this, and it's a funky one. Sprawled in the middle of my living room floor is this huge piece of cardboard with my notes on my measurements, and first thing I'm doing is getting the door width, and that's just the usual. Make a whole bunch of little nicks on the measurement, get your average with this piece of trim, and used as a very long ruler, and then cut it all the way down to give me the size I needed. As for the height, I only had to take off, I think, 1/4 of an inch, so that was nice and handy dandy. Now here is an extra piece. This is actually the back of like Draculaura's room and everything. Oh no, wait, I'm cutting out the door hole. Okay, I was doing that first, and then, which I have right here. Then I got to run upstairs and make sure I got it right, and that seemed to have worked out, so I'll just cut that out easily. Like I said, this cardboard is probably double, if not at least double thick usual cardboard. So I got this piece of very thin paneling that was actually the back of the skinny rooms in the main Monster High dollhouse. So I'm going to cut that in half, and what I'm going to do is put that at the top and the bottom, so that when those screws go in to hold it to the door, then it will give more strength instead of just relying on the paper mache. I had some silicone around from somewhere, so I used that to stick it. The edges are very, very, I just don't want to get stuck in my fingers or worry about it while I'm working it, so I put the tape around just to protect from splinters. As well, the one edge I had to fold over, so that piece of paneling will give that strength too, so it doesn't end up bending on me. I'm glad I thought of that. See there? That was actually where it folded over around the panel I bought. So I'm simply going to stick that on, use these bricks, and I let it lay right in the middle of my living room for quite a few hours until it dried. When I'm putting it over in the area waiting to be done, I'm keeping the bottom on the tops just so I don't get any warping. I'll put paper mache on that later to strengthen it even further. Yeah, here's the view of my living room for a few hours. Gracie walked home from school and was like, "What is going on?" I'm like, well, I have the chair in the middle. I found an extra piece of that paneling, so I stuck it in the middle. I thought it wouldn't hurt to have it extra for not warping, just in case. And my tree is gone, and here's my little spot for working on this project. I got my curtains all covered and protected, so my little makeshift studio is ready for this project. Looking forward to your ideas, and it's gonna be a little while for the next one so I can put that all together. Thanks for watching. Hope you're excited about this one, and see you next time.